I have $50 and a day to kill in Seattle. Let's go. The night before, I loaded a day pass onto my Orca card using the My Orca app, which lets me ride pretty much all transit in the area. But you can also stop by one of these machines that you can find in pretty much every light rail station, including the airport station, where you can buy an Orca card and load a day pass onto it.
So first off, I'm gonna go over to the light rail station and hop on a train to Westlake. I believe that's the closest light rail station to Pike Place Market, so that's where I'm gonna be spending my morning. Not sure what I'm feeling as far as a drink goes, but I'm feeling either a little coffee or a tea, just depending on my mood. I think I'm leaning on a tea. So let's see what they have at Pike Place Market.
As a local, I think Pike Place Market is great and not overrated. Pike Place is an iconic farmers market that is open every day, year-round, and it's super popular with tourists. It can be expensive, but that's only if you don't know where to look, or if your eating standards involve a sit-down restaurant, which mine don't. So for breakfast, I picked up a little chai from a pop-up chai store in the corner and a steamed pork bun from Me Some Pastry, which is the absolute GOAT. After I finished, I went to go check out the market.
Jack, hey, yeah! And one more! And one more! Hey, yeah! Jack, hey, yeah! Belly strips, hey, yeah!
My favorite part of the market are the lower floors of the market because there are stores selling the most random knick-knack paddywhacks, which you might be wondering, how do these little stores even survive? Well, the Pike Place Market Preservation and Development Authority, who is responsible for managing the market, makes the big names like Starbucks and Ivers subsidize the smaller stores to maintain the vibes. Like, Starbucks pays 100 times more per square foot than the random little trinket store in the lower floors of the market, which is how they're able to survive. So for lunch, I made a stop by Beecher's to pick up their famous mac and cheese, which, if there is one takeaway you get from this video, this is the one. Like, I will give you permission to skip everything else, but if you visit Seattle and you don't get the mac and cheese from Beecher's, what are you doing? After I finished this masterpiece of a meal and did some people watching, it was time for me to make my way to the next place. If you like architecture, the Central Seattle Public Library is a must-visit stop. You don't even need to like books to like this library. There are 10 floors in this library that are accessible to the public. Each floor has its own quirks, art installations, and services which are fun to explore. Now, my favorite part of the library is the red hall on the 4th floor. It is what it says it is, a red hall. Like, there is no reason for this to exist, but it does, and I find that so goofy. There are also so many photogenic areas to take pics for Instagram, and you don't have to pay anything to access them. Seattle taxpayers got you covered. By the way, this will be the last stop we'll be making downtown before we move on to something a little more nature-y. From the library, I'm going to make my way to the closest light rail station so I can hop on the next train north to go to Roosevelt Station, which is the closest station to our next destination. So I got off at Roosevelt Station, which is the closest station to Green Lake. And there's about like an 11-minute walk between the station and then Green Lake Park. Green Lake Park is one of Seattle's most beloved parks, and it's really easy to get to it via transit. During the summertime, there's a boathouse that offers kayaks, pedal boats, and stand-up paddleboards to rent out, and a coffee shop that is priced reasonably relative to Seattle, but, you know, the coffee is serviceable at best.
You know, it's actually a really nice day out, so I might stop by a bench and just start reading. I don't know how long that's gonna take, but I might read for like 20 minutes or so. So there are a few cafes that are just scattered around Green Lake, just like around the perimeter. But my favorite one is this little place called Chocolati Cafe, which, I mean, based off of the name, you can probably guess that it is a very chocolate-forward cafe that has sipping chocolate, hot chocolate, and other cafe stuff. But I think I'm gonna go get a little hot chocolate just so I have a little treat during my walkie walk.
Okay. Hi, Doc.
Thank you so much.
Since we're here, might as well talk a little more about the lake. So Green Lake is a glacial lake where its basin was dug 50,000 years ago by a big chunk of ice known as the Vashon Glacier. In 1903, the city of Seattle said, hey, our city is looking a little gray, why don't we have more parks and greenery and, you know, areas that people want to spend time in. So they commissioned the Olmsted brothers, who were big landscape architects at the time, to create pockets of little parks scattered throughout the city for people to enjoy and for dogs to enjoy even more. Green Lake is an iconic lake surrounded by a 2.8-mile paved pedestrian pathway. It's a beautiful park that is perfect to walk, run, skate, bike, or scoot around, especially on the rare days where the weather is actually good.
I
don't know if you can tell, but like in the far distance, like right over here, that's just a patch of birds. Look at all those chickens.
Look at all those chickens.
Now that I just finished up the Green Lake walk, I'm gonna hop on a 62, which is the bus route that'll take me to the Gasworks Park, which is located in Wallingford. I'm sure if you've ever looked at like a places to go when you visit Seattle, you will see Gasworks Park on those lists, and let me show you why.
Gasworks Park contains remnants of the only remaining coal gasification plant in the United States. The plant operated from 1906 to 1956, but it was converted into a public park in 1975. Despite the name, the only thing that's gassy in this park is me, because I am violently lactose intolerant. So something that always confuses me whenever I'm just like walking around is whenever I see graffiti in hard to reach areas, like, how do people get up there? And how do they get down? Gasworks Park is a classic for tourists and locals. Lots of people set up picnics and sit out here for the sunset. The view of the city is actually flabbergasting, and it left me gasping for air. Sometimes you get to see seaplanes bop on by, which Seattle is one of the few major cities in the world where you can spot them. Like, this is a place to get your "look, I'm in Seattle" pics that your family gets to see. But it got really cold really fast, so I left before sunset. But trust me, if you can catch the sunset, it's worth it.
I don't understand why people have issues with taking the bus, because I'm just thinking about how I paid $8 and now I can just take transportation for the entire day, which is so much more affordable than, buying Ubers or Lyfts everywhere, from place to place, it could really add up.
But now it's time for me to hop on a 32 bus and transfer at a light rail station to make my way to the last stop of the journey. Which is Capitol Hill. The neighborhood to get your "look, I'm in Seattle" pics that your family does not get to see. Capitol Hill is Seattle's neighborhood, and it's also the neighborhood to be in for nightlife. But today, I'm tired and my budget is looking tragic, so I'll just be getting dinner here. And what other place than to have dinner at Dick's Burgers? Have you ever been to In-N-Out? Well, Dick's Drive-In is the Seattle equivalent. I'm kidding. Dick's is pretty affordable and their fries are actually good enough for billionaire Bill Gates to wait in line for them. I ordered a special burger and fries, which slapped, and that was my day. Thanks for watching. Toodles!